This is Street Smart on the ground, where I answer your travel questions based on real-world, hard-won, hard-learned lessons after years, about 2.5 decades, off and on, of traveling through the developing world. This is a series on bus safety. I got a question recently from a viewer who was asking specifically about Ecuador and is bus travel safe in Ecuador? I'm going to assume, one, they're talking about long-haul buses, interprovincial 2, 4, 6, 10, 12-hour bus rides as opposed to city buses. And I'm going to expand the context on this because I have traveled all through the developing world, all over Latin America and parts of Southeast Asia. I haven't seen any bus scams that are specific to Ecuador, so I'm going to look at a much wider context and just say these are the things to look out for. I've got a whole series on bus safety mapped out. This one, I want to set the table and explain why bus travel in the developing world. Why does everybody use the bus? And there's a bunch of pretty simple reasons for that. The first of which, that's really the only game. A lot of people don't have cars. They might have a motorcycle, but generally a lot of people don't have any way of getting around, so buses is the de facto way for them. That's for moving them. That's for if they're doing trips. Maybe they live a little further outside of the city and they want to come into the city, go to the market and stock up on food and groceries and supplies for a couple weeks or a month. They might be getting 50-pound or 50-kilogram bags of rice or potatoes or whatever it happens to be, and putting that on the bus is the easiest way for them to get it back to where their house is. Buses are cheap. They are everywhere. They're ubiquitous. And they run all the time. If you're traveling for any length of time like I am, through the developing world, I'm over 3 years now traveling through South America, you are definitely going to be using long-haul buses. The answer to the question, the short answer is yes, they are safe if you know what to look for. This is all about mitigating risk, and there's kind of 3 levels. This episode, like I said, I just want to deal with buses. Why buses? Basically, there's no trains, there's no subways. Your only other real option is to hire a private driver. And if you have a short period of time, you're coming down for 2 weeks and you want to get a transfer, like somebody to pick you up at the airport, take you to your hotel, and at the end of your trip, reverse that order, absolutely. Go with a hired driver that is vetted, somebody that comes highly recommended through people who know who's safe, who's good, who speaks English, things of that nature, super important. If you want to do day trips, you can book tours where you're on a bus or in a van or whatever it happens to be, and then you've got safety in numbers. You could hire a private driver for a day trip, that kind of thing, fine. I'm talking about if you're moving from one city to another city, yeah, you could do a private driver, but that is immediately going to put you on somebody's radar, or probably multiple somebody's radars, as somebody that has the money available to do that. Not necessarily a bad thing, but I'm all about flying under the radar. And if I'm on the bus, traveling like a local, blending in, nobody's going to think, hey, this guy's got a load of money. And by the way, none of this is fear porn. I'm not trying to scare anybody or say, no, don't take buses, they're dangerous. Nothing like that. What I am saying is if you're aware of the scams and you know what to look for, you can mitigate against those risks and avoid a lot of issues. And in that context, there's basically 3 levels that I look at. One is knowing what to look for and avoiding the scam entirely. 2 is if you're in a situation where somebody's trying to scam you and you recognize it, knowing what to do, what to say, how to act to get out of that. And 3, and this happened to me one time, I will be unpacking this in a future episode, where I did get scammed at a bus terminal by the people working at the ticket counter. I should have been paying more attention. This was in Ecuador probably 6 or 7 years ago. I knew enough, but I didn't put it into practice, so they ended up ripping me off, and I'll unpack how I dealt with that situation. It had a happy ending for me, and I'm guessing not a happy ending for the person that tried to scam me. You're going to find multiple levels of comfort and service, from chicken buses, the Guatemala version, absolutely a must-have travel experience. If I get to the bus terminal and there's a bus leaving kind of within 15 or 20 minutes, and maybe it's not the real fancy, the ejecutivo, like the VIP bus, with the comfortable reclining seats and the movie that is blasting like crazy loud and AC and all that other stuff. If there's a bus that's more stripped down, maybe the seats don't recline, maybe there's no movie, which I'm fine with, maybe there's no AC, it's going to be cheaper, and basically I just default to which one is leaving first and going where I want to go, ideally with the fewest number of stops. In terms of how I use the buses, if I'm taking a long trip, if I am going somewhere and it's 12 or 14 hours, I'm not doing that in one go. I've done that in the past, and I'm at an age and stage of life where I will break that in two. So if it's a 12-hour bus ride, I'll do it either 6 or 7 hours the first day, stop somewhere near the terminal, get a room for the night, the next morning get on the bus to finish the rest of that journey, which might be another 5 or 6 hours. I find 6, maybe 7 hours is my sweet spot, and beyond that, like, I am stiff for days. So that's a bonus tip there. You're not going to find trains or subways or other ways of getting around the country. It's long haul buses. And I've used them, tons of them, dozens, if not hundreds of trips. Now in future episodes, I will be talking about specific situations like terminals, what to do with your valuables, keeping an eye on your luggage, being really aware of what you need to look out for, the kinds of people, the kinds of scams that go on. I'll be unpacking those, and some horror stories from the road. And again, these people don't want to hurt you. They just see somebody that has more money than they ever will have, and they want to avail themselves of those resources. So they just want to steal your stuff. It's not in their interest to kidnap you or hurt you. 99% of the people that I've met on buses over the years, from the staff, like the real staff, to the people, my fellow passengers, to people working in the terminals, are salt of the earth, lovely, friendly, very helpful people. There's a lot of great people in the developing world, but it only takes 1 or 2 people to mess it up for everybody. And when you know what to look out for, it's easy to mitigate and ideally avoid any issues with those kinds of people. So if you take anything from this episode, is bus travel safe in Ecuador in the developing world? Yes, if you know what to look for. If you have any comments or questions, please drop them below. The most frequently asked questions will be prioritized in this series and other series that I'm doing, Street Smart on the Ground, to show you how to avoid issues, how to maximize your travel experience, ideally your budget, and how to enjoy your time when you're traveling instead of having an unpleasant experience and then having to deal with police reports. I'm not going to say I can guarantee you how to avoid them. I can tell you what to look out for so that you know how to avoid most, if not all of them. So this is Street Smart on the Ground, where I answer your travel questions based on real-world, hard-earned, hard-learned, hard-won experience and knowledge over the last 25 years of traveling through the developing world. Happy trails. See you in the next one.